Grassroots Sessions.
Love the government, the ones who torture, the shale gas fracking poisons your water. People have voted to make energy cleaner. Now we're the enemy of this corporate machine. You're told you have the right to protest in peace, but these Lancashire nanas getting hammered by police. Anti-fracking protesters who place their heads above the sand, courageous, inspiring me, protecting our land, willing to stand up for your life. Come Share gas, upper class, male dominion, they don't cherish the goddess in the United Kingdom. Why should we ask the Queen if the water ought to be clean? So take a deep breath in this death grip, cage with investments. The conscious age will fracking couldn't make any less sense. Nothing will nourish you, flourish you, encourage you more than water. It is the only door you need to walk. You talk to the water, watch its resonance warm. Thoughts you send to the water, cause the structure to forge a reflection of our conscious projection. When all the first human beings who may suffer the consequences of thirst. Fracking the ground doesn't make any sense. What will we do now? Is make a human fence. Make a human fence. Fracking in the ground, it doesn't make no sense. So make a human fence. Make a human fence. Make a human fence. Fracking in the ground, it doesn't make no sense. So make a human fence. Make a human Fuck the government, the ones who torture, you share gas, fracking, poison your water. The people who voted to make energy cleaner. Now we're the enemy of this corporate machine. You're told you have the right to protest in peace, but these Lancashire nanas getting hammered by police. Anti-fracking protesters who place their heads above the sand. Courageous, inspiring me, protecting our land, willing to stand up for your life. Fracking the ground doesn't make any sense. What we do now is make a human fence. Hey, hey. Make a human fence. Fracking in the ground, it doesn't make no sense. Make a human fence. Hey, make a human fence. Make a human fence. Fracking in the ground, it doesn't make no sense. Make a human fence. Hey, make a human fence. Make a human fence.
thank you so much for joining us on Grassroots Sessions today. Thank you to our amazing patrons for making these videos possible. If you'd like to become a patron of our channel, please check out the link below. And if you enjoyed today's song, feel free to pop a quid in our virtual hat via the link below. Thank you so much, guys. Sorry we've had a little break from Grassroots, and we're back with our beautiful, amazing percussionist and brother Sean Obongo. We love you, Sean. Thank you so much. And yeah, it was an honour to share the song with him today, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And Alex wrote the song.
I did. It's called Make a Human Fence, and it's inspired by the anti-fracking movement, especially in our hometown Preston, where we've been a part of the anti-fracking movement there at Preston New Road. And yeah, all the incredible protesters that have been there, dedicating their spare time to you know, speaking up for more eco-friendly, sustainable, renewable energy, rather than seeing you know, investments in pollution-based energy, you know, like petrochemicals and fracking for gas, basically.
And we've witnessed the anti-fracking movement in Lancashire be such an incredible grassroots movement, because it was created by the people of the community who voted no for fracking in Lancashire, and our council voted no, but the government in London overturned our community's decision, and they decided to go ahead anyway. And so the local community have taken it upon themselves to protest the fracking that's been going on at Preston New Road by putting themselves in the way of the gates, and to try and slow down the process, and to try and cost the company money. And the beautiful Lancashire nanas decided to sit in protest and knit, so they've been sat knitting as their way of protesting. And it's just been such a community effort of people coming together and create and thinking of innovative and creative ways to stand and oppose the decision to frack Lancashire, because as I say, the local community voted no, and we live in a democratic society, and when the government can overthrow the community's decision, then the only thing we have left to do is to protest. And we really think that the new protest laws in the bill that's being passed in Parliament are definitely a response to the way that people protested in Lancashire, because it really worked, and it slowed down the process of fracking. It cost the company a lot of money. Eventually fracking was suspended in Lancashire, so the protest really worked, and the people's innovative, creative ideas. We went down there ourselves, and we you know, as much as we could, shared music and created an incredible festival vibe. We performed in front of the gates, didn't we?
We did. We actually prevented some
a lorry
of the vehicles
through.
arriving. Yeah,
we were told we could
performance.
either perform at the side, so the lorry could still get through, or we could perform in the centre of the gates. And a lot of the protests have been people locking on in front of the gates, so they'll lock themselves to something, and then the lorry can't get through, and it just slows everything down for that company. And so we decided to do our performance right in front of the gates, and it was amazing.
There's a couple of clips of that in the music video for Make a Human Fence.
That's
And this song, Make a Human Fence, is on our 2020 Vision album. And I think that was one of the first music videos we made for that album, wasn't it? And it was pieced together from clips of the protesting that we found on YouTube. And yeah, we just tried to go as eclectic as we could with those clips, and we brought in as many as possible that really reflected the beautiful energy and time and effort that the protesters put into stopping, you know, the fracking in Lancashire. And
it also documents the appalling brutality that they faced whilst doing that. So the police just being so rough with these elderly women and people in wheelchairs, and just like the most vulnerable sections of our community coming down to stand up for our right to vote against fracking in our hometown. And the way the police handled it, you know, we've been there on times where the police haven't been like that, but there's been beautiful friends of ours who have suffered brutality.
There's plenty of evidence there that they have been brutal. And well, we've been touring, you know, predominantly the UK, so we haven't been able to be as you know, on it as a lot of the protesters. They're there all the time, full time. So we haven't been able to be as dedicated as that, because we've got our music. So the least we could do was write a song to honour the Lancashire nanas and everyone else who's been, like it says in the song, putting their heads above the sand, and it makes them you know, shine with so much beauty and love for the, you know, the future of this planet. And you know, just, I mean, if you don't say something then and you're aware of the detrimental effects, then you're basically complicit. And that goes for all of the ethical movements of the world, you know, racism, sexism, you know, speciesism. This is to do with you know, the sustainable ecological effects of our planet, and you know, the running waters. You know, we love to swim in nature, and a lot of the rivers now are downstream from factories that pollute the rivers, and these are our waters. You know, we were all born here sovereign beings, and we deserve the right in a so-called democracy to stand up for what we feel collectively is best in terms of, you know, energy and resource, and how you know, the progress of society continues. And you don't need a PhD in science to be a part of a democracy. You know, you should be allowed with just your, you know, you should be allowed to trust your instincts in a democracy. You should be allowed to ask questions without being made a fool. You know, we shouldn't just appeal to authority, because if we do that, then there won't be any progress. It'll just be you know, it'll be government regulated decisions, and our government are there to work with the people, not to control us. You know,
they work for us, don't they? They're our public servants, and we vote on things that affect our community directly, and we expect them to uphold, you know, to represent us in that way. I feel like I love the music video that we made, because it really does show the how big that grassroots protest movement was, and whereas the local media that we have in Lancashire, our Lancashire Evening Post, they would share articles about the anti-fracking movement in a really derogatory way. So they would show a picture of, say, two people stood on the side of a road, and they'd write a headline that said "a dwindling campaign," and they'd really try and make out like there wasn't a movement going on. And so our video really shows the vast amount of people who were involved, and the incredible innovative nature of that protest. And like we were saying before, it's one of the reasons they've had to introduce this bill, because it's such an effective form of grassroots protest, is when people come together and they make a human fence. They stand in the way and say no, and it's an amazing thing that we can do. And you know, if you disagree with your government and you feel that what they're doing is criminal, you always have the right to protest and stand in the way peacefully and say no, thank you. I love the video for that.
Yeah, the video, and it's made up of clips filmed by so many different wonderful people who were there with cameras. All the people whose clips we did use, their names are at the end of the film, and
we'll link
really
the video
grateful.
below.
So the song is very much inspired by you know, songwriters such as Bob Marley and Nina Simone, who were using their music to, you know, state a message of, you know, systemic change. Songs like Burning and Looting, and then Belly Full, and you know, and it's literally got that reggae vibe, hasn't it, in the verses. I felt that was something that I just really wanted to put, you know, have coming through, and like Sean's drum beat really accentuates that. And then it goes into the make a human fence bit. I just wanted like a driving rhythm for the, you know, envisioning that it would help people in it when they're protesting, you know, to just, you know, link arms and just get the rhythm going in people and their hearts racing and stuff. Because you know, it's very difficult to tip you know, to go down the peaceful protest route when faced with such animosity from the police. And you know, police, they're thankfully still just human beings. They're not robots, and we, you know, we can make a human connection despite the uniforms. And you know, I think the music video really does elaborate on it well, doesn't it? Because the song is inspired by what we saw, and then to then eventually record it and then bring it to life with the actual footage of what happened, as much of it as was captured, just really worked well together, didn't it? And we try our best to honour all the protesters with that footage to the music video. And
Well, in the very early days of the protest, when initially Lancashire County Council voted no and the government overturned it, there was huge protest outside Lancashire County Council, and there's some amazing footage of us. We were making so much noise with these big drums, weren't we? That big drums that we were banging onto the floor, and just really trying to create a peaceful but loud opposition. And there's some amazing footage that's in the video of the police, who were very much on our side at that point. They came and had played some music with us, and they were banging the drums, and it was such a feeling of unity at that time, because the police, they voted no to fracking as well. They're humans, part of this community. We didn't want fracking on the doorstep, potentially poisoning our drinking water and creating a mess of the land. And those were the really early days. And
at the time we was volunteering at the Beautiful Planet Cafe, which was you know, a sustainable, ecological, anarchist green centre, and we, you know, they very much opened our eyes to the way we can get involved in these projects, and that became a little hub, didn't it, for information and sharing and sustainable renewable energy. And you know, like, they're now signing climate bills to reduce all the emissions. This isn't like some flimsy thing that people fought for. Like, you know, it's becoming a big topic now at the top of government, is like, what do we do about all of the burning and the pollution, you know, and the fracturing of the ground, and you know, there was literally earthquakes in Blackpool caused by the fracking, the test fracking at Preston New Road. Multiple earthquakes.
And I think that's why they suspended it in the end.
People are looking for a reason to protest it. Literally, the reason was presented as a result of it.
I mean, we're a tiny island, aren't we? The UK, like, to be fracturing the ground like that. Like you say, it was an experiment and it caused earthquakes, and that was part of the reason that it was suspended. But also because the local community have cost that company so much money to go ahead with, you know, stalling the trucks and not letting the trucks pass through. I think it's something to be learnt for innovative, non-violent, but really powerful protest to put so many people putting themselves on the line and getting arrested. So many people we know were going down and getting arrested for standing for their community's right to protest. And we're just so grateful to all of them incredible activists. And, you know, like Alex says, we were touring the festival circuits, we were singing about it, we were telling our audiences about what's happening at Preston New Road, we were telling people to go and get involved. But us ourselves, we very much felt like we weren't there as much as we could have been.
No, we were apologetic, weren't we? Whenever
yeah.
we got back, we was like, we're so sorry not being here, you're all so amazing.
Yeah, but whenever we did get back, we did a gig, didn't we? And
we'd offer a gig as often as possible. And Reclaim the Power hosted a summer of events there. We played at their event. Yeah. And
I think there's another one coming up.
Oh yeah, there's talk of something going on in June, I think.
Like a celebration.
Yeah.
And we're going to hopefully play some music
somewhere
for that.
Up north, so there'll be more details on that shared soon. And so there you go. It's a song. It's a humble song in honour of everybody.
Song,
everybody involved. Yeah. It's a protest song,
And the protest continues, and we continue to disagree with what our government is up to.
Yeah, and we're just like so grateful to now be back in the UK and be alongside my brother Sean O'Bongo. We'll link his page below. Yeah. He's also teaching percussion while he's on tour, and you know, you get in touch with him if anyone wants to get any lessons from Sean. He's world-class bongo player, djembe player, he plays drum kits, can do all that, and so it's just an absolute honour to have him back. And we've got some very special grassroots sessions with him coming up, because he's just got a hang drum.
And he plays it so beautifully.
And also massive love and respect to Sean's partner Jess,
she just filmed
today.
it.
It's the first time we've
Jess.
had a guest camera person.
Yes, Jess.
And Jess, you did a wonderful job. Thank you so much. We'll link Jess's page below as well. She's an incredible visual artist. She draws the most wonderful mandalas, and we'll link her page below as well. It's called Fractal Flow Creations. And we're just so excited and so grateful. Thank you so much for being patient with us while we transitioned from Portugal back to the UK. That took a couple of weeks out of our typical rota of making grassroots sessions, and we're back now. We're back on it. We've landed, and thankfully the family are all doing well now, aren't they, back here? And we're just so grateful that everybody stuck with us and for your support. And we've also been receiving beautiful messages that these have been helping people at home in lockdown and whatnot. So that was our number one intent, was to come through the screen and share some colour and light with you all, and we're glad that that's worked.
And we're keeping our fingers crossed that all of our festivals will go ahead this year. We've got lots of festivals. We're about to release all our festival dates, so stay in touch with our Facebook page and Instagram page, because we've got a lot of amazing festivals this year, and we would love for you to come and dance with us.
Yes.
Thank you once again to our amazing patrons for making these videos possible. All of your names are at the end of our videos, and if you enjoyed today's song, feel free to pop a quid in our virtual hat via the link below, and we'll see you next time.
Grassroots Sessions is made possible by our wonderful patrons who support us on Patreon. Thank you so much to all of you beautiful beings.
Please join our Patreon today to help us create more videos. Donations are also very welcome here.